What's up, control freaks? Today we're going to be looking at 3 Pioneer Phyrexia All will be one deck lists that I will be playing this coming week on my Twitch channel. I'm super stoked for all 3 of these decks. They're all a little bit different. We are going to start, of course, with the control deck. This one is blue-black or Dimir Control. I am super stoked for a couple of these new cards, and we do play several cards from the new set. Phyrexia All will be one. First off, let's start with the card that I think will probably make the most impact for the Dimir Control archetype as a whole. We're looking at, of course, Sheoldred's Edict. This was a card that in my top 5 video for most excited cards for the new set was in it. And I think it was at like 2 or 3. But it is, of course, Sheoldred's Edict. Let's take a look. You probably know what it does, but in case you don't, it is 2 mana, black 1, Sheoldred's Edict, instant, choose one. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. Each opponent sacrifices a creature token, or each opponent sacrifices a planeswalker. So why is this so good in a control deck specifically? In my opinion, I think this is going to be excellent. Obviously, one of the biggest problems that control decks have typically is removing planeswalkers, because a lot of the planeswalker removal is 3 mana, and we don't want to play 3 mana removal spells. We do want to play cheap 2 or 1 mana. This would be nuts if it was 1 mana, and it can hit non-token. You get to choose between token or non-token. So it's a very flexible card. It basically is a Doom Blade, for lack of a better term, for planeswalkers, because typically most decks don't play too many planeswalkers, so you can just make them sack their planeswalker. Sacks Karn against mono green. It sacks against blue-white control. Obviously, if they play Teferi or Wandering Emperor. And this card is just going to be sweet, I think. And I haven't played with it yet, but I'm super stoked to get to. We're going to be playing with it in a league this week. I'm super excited for Sheoldred's Edict. Now, the other card that I haven't seen much in Pioneer, but I do want to test out because I like trying new things. I know a lot of control players are a little bit risk adverse and like to stick to the norms, right? It's very hard for control decks to really take shape and have big changes, because we, as control players, like proven commodities. Now, I do want to try Vraska Betrayal's Sting. This was also in my top 5 video. If you guys want to check that out, I'll have it up there in a card. You can check that out after this video, of course. But this is, of course, one of the completed planeswalkers. I think she's super dope. She works really well with other planeswalkers. Now, I'm not playing the new Jace or anything like that in this deck. Now, I think it might be reasonable if you want to try a bit of a mill game plan, but you would construct the deck a little bit differently. But for this one, it just works with Narset. Being able to get to activate Narset more than twice seems insane. And since Vraska's 0 ability, it's a plus ability technically, because it does proliferate. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Of course, the -2 turns something into a treasure. And then, of course, the 9 is an auto win, basically every single one. But this is a card that a lot of people were saying was pretty garbage. And I think those people are wrong. I think this card is pretty decent. I don't know if it's going to be a staple. Obviously, Dimir Control is not the best control deck in the format. Azorius Control leaps and bounds ahead of Dimir Control, but can Sheoldred's Edict and Vraska Betrayal's Sting be the boost, the boon that Dimir needs to get into that top tier in Pioneer? I don't know. We're going to find out. I'm super stoked. This list, pretty stock other than those 2. We do play, Thoughtseizes, Fatal Pushes, of course, Counter Spells, Dig Through Time. We're playing 1 Gear Hulk. But the reason you're watching this video is to see which of the new cards I am interested in, and I think you should be pretty excited for, too. The sideboard is what it is. But yeah, that is Dimir Control. Again, we're playing Vraska and Sheoldred's Edict. I'm super stoked for both these cards. And, I'm super stoked. But let's move on to the next deck. All right, so here is the second deck that I kind of brewed up. This is what I'm calling Gleeful Red, or you could call it Gleeful Blast. It is based around the brand new Gleeful Demolition. If you're not familiar, get from it. This card is sweet. It's 1 mana, sorcery, destroy target artifact. If you control that artifact, you get to create 3 1/1 red Phyrexian Goblin creature tokens. Obviously, this is a callback to the card called Dutha Rebirth. And yeah, this is way better, though, because you get to actively have artifact removal in your deck just inherently because you're playing 4 of these. Now, this version might not be as good as the modern version, but I still want to try it. Gleeful Demolition is the reason that I want to play this deck. We are playing Experimental Synthesizer. This card's just excellent. If you guys don't know what this is, super good. It's good when it enters the battlefield. It's good when it leaves. We want to be destroying this. We do have some other cards in here that either create or just are artifacts. Of course, we have Voldaren Epicure. When it enters the battlefield, you get a blood token. We've got Bomat Couriers ×4, Ginger Brutes ×4, and of course, we have Shrapnel Blast, which is super awesome. And then, of course, we have a bunch of the regular cards that you see in Mono Red in Pioneer. We got Light Up the Stage. We've got Skewer the Critics. And then we do have some Reckless Storm Seekers. This card is just bang for your buck. One of the best getcha cards in the format for Mono Red. And then I am playing Feldon. Nothing crazy here, right? No synergies, but yeah, I like this card. I thought about playing Pia Nalar. And she makes a Thopter token when she enters the battlefield. So maybe Feldon's not the right call here. But yeah, I'm super stoked to get to play this. We are playing Darksteel Citadel too. So of course we can Shrapnel Blast or Experimental Synthesizer Darksteel Citadel. And since it is indestructible, it doesn't die. So super sick. I'm super stoked. Hopefully, we'll see about this deck. This deck's a bit of a meme, but I am super excited to try it. I do like, despite, the channel and the control freaks and the things like that, I do like little red aggro decks as well. Basically, I want to play the game forever or play it for like 3 minutes and be done with it. But yeah, I'm super stoked for this deck. I don't know. This is a bit of a brewski, but I like it. The sideboard, we do have Damping Sphere as an artifact in the sideboard. But yeah, I'm super stoked to get to play this one for you guys as well. All right, so last but certainly not least, probably maybe the most spicy, this is Prime Speaker Vannifar, or Tyvar Vannifar, Vannifar. I don't know what you want to call it, but we are utilizing the brand new Tyvar. What does Tyvar do if you don't know? It is a 3-mana legendary planeswalker. Whenever you activate, you may activate abilities of creatures you control as though they had haste. So basically, what you want to do is get Tyvar down on turn 2, and then turn 3 with a Llanowar Elf in play, have Prime Speaker, and of course, this deck isn't anything new, really. This combo isn't anything new, but just for those that don't know, you sacrifice the Llanowar Elf to go get Corridor Monitor, which untaps Prime Speaker. Then you sacrifice Corridor Monitor to get Extraction Specialist. Extraction Specialist returns Corridor Monitor, which untaps Prime Speaker. You then sacrifice Corridor Monitor to get another Extraction Specialist. And you repeat this process over and over and over again until you get a bunch of 3-power critters on the battlefield. And then in your last iteration of the loop, you go and get Keldon's Strike Team, which gives all of your creatures haste. So then, of course, you just have a gang of 3-power dudes, and you crash in, and hopefully you kill them. This deck, this isn't my brew or anything. I saw Doomwake playing this, and super stoked to be able to play this. I really like Prime Speaker in like Birthing Pod combo style decks. I think Tyvar might, maybe this deck might be real. Maybe not, though. There are a lot of, if they have spot removal, if you're playing against, black, red, specifically, this deck might be pretty rough. Or Azorius Control, funny enough, this deck probably is going to struggle against those style decks. Just removal or counter heavy decks, this deck might really struggle against. But other than that, I think this deck might be pretty good. We do have Skrelv as well, which is a new card from Phyrexia All will be one. You can protect your Prime Speakers, so that is definitely like a place that you could go with it. And you are playing one, so you can, go get it. And then in the sideboard, nothing crazy. We do have Tyvar Stand, which protects anything that, our opponent might want to do in terms of interacting with our creatures. You got Fauna Shaman there as well to, find Prime Speaker, because we only have 4 of them. And, obviously the rule of 8, you got to have 8 of your combo piece or else it doesn't really work. And Fauna Shaman creates 8, and we can either go find Llanowar Elf, or we can find a Prime Speaker. And Tyvar isn't necessary, but it does obviously speed up the gameplay. You can win as early as turn 3, which in Pioneer is pretty nutty. Pretty freaking good, in my opinion. I'm super stoked to get to play this one for you guys. Remember, over on twitch.tv /LessAlex. Go follow me over there if you want to watch me play these games live. Obviously, they will get uploaded to YouTube at some point. And if you guys have enjoyed this video, let me know what you think about my brews. Blue-black, is Vraska going to be the real deal? Or is it just, just another silly 5-drop Planeswalker that kind of looks like Obnixilis? I'm inclined to think it's going to be pretty decent. I don't know if it's going to make Blue-black tier 1, but be that as it will. And then, of course, the mono red deck, super stoked to just go face with Shrapnel Blast and make a bunch of goblins. And then, of course, this deck, again, this is not my concoction, but I'm really excited to play Vannifar and see if it is good enough in Pioneer to at least, have some decent results in leagues. We're not trying to take down a Pro Tour with this deck or anything, but have some fun with leagues, maybe 4-1, 5-0, a couple leagues. But yeah, I'll be playing that this following week when you watch this. And yeah, come on over. Make sure, of course, to like the video, comment down below. I really do want to know your input on these cards and on these decks. And, of course, subscribe, notification bell icon, all that housekeeping stuff that you guys hear from every YouTuber. I appreciate you. I am LessAlex. Be kind to one another, and I will catch you in the next video. Adios, guys.